Okay, let's try this out. Tell me if this works any better. So we're doing this on Instagram Live, which is tricky with YouTube Live, with Zoom Live, plus a 20-second delay. So Shannon, let me know if this is working any better. But for those of you tuning in, this is gonna be fun today. I'm gonna go over a little bit of Strada technology, and we just had a new update that came out last night. And so for those of you that are beta customers or you're considering an entirely new workflow engine, that's what Strada is. We'll go into that a little bit later. But I wanted to kick off today talking about a film that recently came out, and it's just a really incredible film for a bunch of reasons. The film is called September 5, and I am going to spend a little bit of time talking about why I love this film so much. But again, before I do that, my name is Michael. This is Strada. We do these live events every single Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time. It's not working. What do you want to do?
Do you just want to check, make sure, or just delete the audio capture on OBS and restart that?
Okay. Deleted the audio capture on OBS.
And then add another one.
Add another one. I'll try to add. Maybe I'll just add this microphone and tell me if that works any no, let's see here. Sorry folks, give me 1 second here. Let's try to add my MacBook Pro microphone. All right, Shannon, let me know if that works any better. Kicking off this morning, though, we are going to go over a little bit of the product. We're going to go over a little bit of the technology. We had a new update last night, so I'm excited about that. Thanks for letting us get all of these live streams going. No thanks to Meta for making Instagram Live easy, because they don't. So take that feedback, Meta. So on the call today, we've got a little bit of extra help. We got my brother and co-founder, Peter. As we go through some of the stuff, they can help with some of the chat. I'm able to read any comments or questions that you have, so you're encouraged to do that. These go a lot better if you're actually commenting or asking questions. And then we've got Margot, our line producer, and our head of engineering, Austin. So we love to get feedback on workflow, the product, features, roadmap, all that kind of stuff. But to kick it off, I want to start talking about a little bit about this film, September 5. This is such a great film. And if you haven't seen it, I'll have my brother put in the chat a link to the trailer. At least you can pin the trailer and watch that later. This is a really, really great film. It's based on a true story. But a good friend of mine, Marcus Furterer, is actually the cinematographer. And I actually didn't know that when I saw the film. I was going through movies. I'm an Academy member, and I was going through movies and looking at what to watch, and as I was getting ready for the voting a few months ago. And then I just come across this film, never heard of it, and am blown away by the film. And of course, I wait to see the credits at the end, and I see Marcus is the cinematographer. Marcus is an amazing cinematographer. I wouldn't even say he's underrated, because he's already known to be exceptional, but he's always been exceptional, and he's always been avant-garde, and he pushes technology and storytelling really far. And I love how he takes red Raptor cameras, these 8K large format cameras, and he makes it look like 16 millimeter film. A lot of times people don't know how to do that. And when you look at September 5, you don't think 8K large format, but that's exactly what he did. The reason I think this film is so specific to our discussion today is, even though this is an amazing movie about the 1972 Olympics in Munich, where there was a hostage situation, they go through that entire story. But as I'm watching the film, something else is going on. Here's a picture of Marcus shooting. There's his Raptor there. He's using a 20 to 55 anamorphic zoom there, and he's going through, and just you can see how small and compact his little storytelling is here. It's just Marcus is the cinematographer, camera operator, and putting everything together in this little camera. It almost looks like shooting 16 if you think about it. But what's so cool about this film is it's actually about workflow. I know that sounds a little funny. Maybe you think that's a little bit of a stretch, but the film September 5 is actually a story where innovation has to hit these actual media people. They're filmmakers in a way. These are a bunch of people that work for ABC News, and they're telling the story of just the Olympics. They're bringing the Olympics, which is the first time it was a intercontinental satellite transmission of live material. And then this hostage situation breaks out. And these people that are designed to work the overnight shift in sports have to end up being able to actually get this information out live to the world in this new, scary situation. And what is so great about the film, Tim, the director, and Marcus, an amazing production design, amazing art department here, they actually built a studio and they started putting things in practical form. So they're actually, the film is using, here you can see Q-Take in the background. Q-Take is actually putting together a lot of the video playback material, but it's playing back live on the monitor. So the actors, what Marcus really explained to me that's really great is the actors are actually reacting to real things on the monitors. They weren't compositions. It wasn't a bunch of green screen monitors. It was practical. That makes it better for lighting. That makes it better for performance. And there's more pre-production to get that right, but it looks more realistic and everything seems more authentic. The authenticity of this film is incredible, even down to how they figured out how to turn their TV studio into this live, unfolding story of this hostage situation. And so here you can see what they had to do is be innovative with workflow. They had to figure out, can we roll cameras outside? Can we make these cameras? Do we have cables long enough to make that happen? And then this is actually not from the real place. This is the behind the scenes movie where they built, and Marcus described, they had to get all these early 1970s technologies and had to get them all assembled and make them work as good as they could so that this authentic experience of these things playing back and working and running. And it's just really awesome. On the film side, I absolutely love how the film tells a story. And I think it's important when we're looking for original content, when people are always sick and tired of sequels and redoing the same things over and over. September 5 is an example of truly original filmmaking, and so much of it is actually authentic and practically done. And we have to remember that doing things practically is so good. In an age where we have so much technology, it gets easy to just say, we'll do it in post. We'll just comp it all. We'll green screen it all, or we'll use LED walls for everything. But it's totally different. And when you experience and feel this film up close and personal, it's totally different. These cameras right on top of the actors, handheld in very, very low light situations and telling the story. But again, the subtext that I really love about the story, when you see the film, and we can put in the chat a little behind the scenes video, there's a cool behind the scenes mini documentary that features the producer, Sean Penn, and the director, Tim, and a whole bunch of others, some of the actors. But when you see this film, I want you to really pay attention to the innovative workflow. I know that sounds like a little stretch, but these people, what Tim and Marcus and the team did so well is they chronicled the discovery of how to figure out how to actually use the equipment they have to do something it wasn't designed to do. And I really love seeing a almost 50-year-old story being told through innovation, technology innovation to tell stories. And when I was watching it, I was moved by the original story, but I was moved by the idea that people have to be innovative in the moment and respond and just get the work done with whatever tools they have. And I think this was captured so well. And it's a great subtext for us. When we're filmmakers and we're working and we're building technology, we want that technology here at Strada. We want it to serve you so that you can stretch it and push it and pull it and make it do things to make your films better. We want you to be able to be more free. And I've always wanted to be behind technology that unlocks things and allows people to do more with less. And so democratization and innovation is just always been important to me. And that's really important to us at Strada. So we're going to go over a little bit of that, but I'm just in the spirit of the Oscars and the spirit of great movies like September 5. And in the spirit of innovation, I just love all that stuff. And that's an important thing to kick off today. So what we're building with Strada is actually the file system at the center of every video production. That's a new concept here. If you think about it, we believe that the core of every single story lies the access to assets. Access to assets, no matter what you're making, how big your team is, how small, how big your budget is, how small, it all starts with having access. And throughout your entire pipeline, you need access to the assets. And I want to make that experience better for you. And I want to give you more control over your assets, no matter where they are, and no matter who needs them, and no matter what time and what device you're going to look at them. So it's really important to us. We're building a new way of collaboration through building a file system that has never been done before. And we'll talk a little bit more about it, but that's really what we're after. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the vision of Strada, what we're doing, a little bit of our overview. We'll show a little bit of our roadmap. I'll demonstrate the beta and do a demonstration. We'll talk about pricing and wrap up. Again, I have access to questions, so feed your questions to us. Pete and Austin can also answer your questions as well. So they're available to do that as well. So we're pretty excited about this. For those of you that are joining the beta for the first time, welcome. You are group G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 7. You're group, the 7th time we've done that in 2025. You are group G. Welcome, group G, and thanks for joining the beta. You know, why did we even start this product? The reason we started this product is we really believe that creative teams are unable to consistently use the cloud across all their files. Here's an example that might sound familiar with you. When you have footage, my guess is all of your footage lives in a hard drive somewhere. That hard drive could be small, could be medium, could be really large, but all your footage is in a hard drive. But you're probably also using the cloud. And my guess is only a small fraction of the footage that you have is in the cloud. This is a problem. When you have media on a hard drive and you have some files in Frame.io or Dropbox or Google Drive or Sony C or Iconic or whatever device or product you use, all of a sudden you lose your ability to have a single source of truth. Because now you have more systems of record, because now the assets are spread across different places and you don't know what is the most current. You don't know who has access to what, and you have to manage more subscriptions and you have to manage more uploads and downloads to get access. I think this is a big problem, and we want to solve this problem. And that's one of the reasons that we're changing this. We are building a solution that is a hybrid solution. And here's a little bit how it works. We love local storage. Local storage is amazing. Why do we love local storage? Local storage is really fast, right? It's really inexpensive. It's only about 6 pennies, 6 cents per gigabyte. And it's connected to your hard drive, which is where most of your tools are, right? Final Cut, Premiere, Resolve, Avid, but also Nuendo, Logic, Pro Tools, right? We work at the edge, Photoshop. And so the hard drives are great for that. But the hard drives are bad for collaboration, because if you need to share media off that hard drive, you have to make a copy. You have to ship that hard drive or deliver it to someone else. So hard drives are really good, except for collaboration. And of course, we love the cloud for collaboration, right? But the cloud is really slow because we don't have upload bandwidth to get things there. It's really expensive. In fact, on average, the cloud is 40 times more expensive per gigabyte than a local hard drive, 40 times. Plus, you have to rent it month after month after month. You can't own cloud storage. You just rent it forever. So it keeps getting more expensive. And the software that you typically use is not in the cloud. There is some cloud tools, but a lot of the software you use is not in the cloud. So we have the collaboration benefit of cloud, but we don't have the speed and the cost and the software connective tissue. And that's what we're building at Strada. Strada aims to build the benefits of local storage and cloud collaboration. And we're trying to make that work right now. And what it effectively means is you will be able to work off local hard drives, but you'll have collaboration experience. So you don't have to upload to the cloud to make this work. So we want you to have local access to your footage, but have a collaboration experience at the same time. That's what we're building. Now, We've been at this for about 18 months, 19 months. So that's how long we've been doing this. And that's going pretty well. And we've delivered our core platform work, which is great. We've delivered our phase 1 features, which are out now. And we just had a big update yesterday. We have another big update coming, hopefully before March 1st. And then another one for NAB in April. If you guys go to NAB, you should come to NAB this year. It's going to be great. It's great every year, but it's going to be a big year. And Strada has its first booth, so that's exciting. And we're going to be delivering our phase 2 features all throughout 2025. Now, I want to show you a couple of features on how we're using Strada today. So here's how I want to do that. So the first question I want to ask you, have you ever had trouble finding a line of dialogue from a script? If you do narrative work, this is such an amazing dailies experience. Check this out. If I look here, I've got a project here called Rattled. So I've got Rattled. And in Rattled, you can see I have about 600 takes here. And you can see all these takes from this film. So a director will know all of the, they know the lines of the script. They know what they're looking for. But a lot of times they don't know where it is. So what do? We break things down by shoot days. But I think searching for shoot days is a really bad way to look for things because you don't remember what day did we shoot at the gas station? What was that day when we were in the dining room, right? That's not how we think. The way we think is we think about how the story was told, right? So if I look here and I see there's 661 assets here in my project here. If I know a line of dialogue, I could search by that line, grab a few. A guy says, grab a few extra things. I know I need that line. And Strada will search all 600 takes and it finds 6 takes where that is actually the line spoken. So if I click on one of these assets, I go to transcription, I type in grab, and now I'm instantly able to go right down to the part where we hear that.
Yeah, she just needs me to grab a few extra things.
That might be a little quiet for some of you, but you can sort of hear it, But see, here's the beauty. Because Strada's already pulled it, I can look at all the alternate takes and see the same line.
That's over?
Yeah, she just needs me to grab.
And I'll look at one more. If I go to the next take, I could click over. I can see the takes load. I go to grab, and now we can see one more variation.
Yeah, she just needs me to grab.
Okay, that's good.
So you can see how fast we can actually search through 600 takes, look for a line of dialogue, and find all the alternate versions and search through it. This would take a director maybe 6 or 7 minutes to do with traditional review programs. Or if you wanted the cutting room to do it, they might take 6 or 7 minutes to find these takes, cut them all up, and get to that line. In Strada, it's like something so easy. You could do this on an iPad. So that's really, really cool. But our transcription technology is so good. Our users are telling us it's best in the world. Our transcription technology is so good. It doesn't just understand language. It understands accents and it understands sounds. Sound isn't language, right? It's audio. So check this out. If I search for the word screaming, if someone says the word screaming, Strada's going to find that. But in this case, I'm going to be able to look for the sound of screaming because Strada can understand that. So if I type in screaming, we can see that screaming is identified by its audio properties, not the word. So it's in parenthesis. And when I hit play, we can see screaming, right? So if we're looking for that shot of screaming, we can find that because we understand the audio. It even understands things like music. So if I want to search for music here, it will start to look for all the sounds and I'll refilter that to just the transcription. And here I can search for the word music. And now it'll take me to music. And you can see here that music is actually spoken and it understands it's a song. So if we hit play, we can see Flo here actually singing and Strada knows that she's actually singing. So Josh asks, does Strada create its own models for these transcriptions? No, Josh, we are using best-in-class models. And if new models come out, we can plug them into Strada. And what's important, Josh, who's asking about AI models, Strada works very differently from other AI tools. The most important thing is we self-host all the models within Strada. What that means is your footage is not sent to a third-party AI model through some API, which is how most companies do it. Instead, the model is brought to your media, so there's no training, no public internet training on your footage. The model comes to your footage. We do not send your footage to the model. So that's a different architecture. So this is an important attribute of how Strada can really power things up with dialogue. And nobody really transcribes dailies, but Strada does it automatically, and we do it in bulk. I can select all, and I can hit transcribe, and this would transcribe 330 files, and I can make my dailies all searchable through language. It's a totally awesome way to work, especially with the speed in which Strada is able to do it. Okay, how about this? Here's a different situation. Have you ever had trouble finding a video clip that you know exists, but there's no sound? What about video, right? Well, that's the next thing that Strada is able to do. If we look at this project right here, this project has 3,476 assets, almost 3,500 assets. This is all nature footage. So you can see how much nature footage. If I make this a little bigger, you'll see this is just tons and tons of nature footage. But Strada's analytics is so good that if I were to search by, the word fire, it will instantly filter and start looking for all the shots. Oh, let's see here. All the shots that are tagged fire. So check this out. It's going to find all the shots of video fire. But did you notice what happened? I have little filters here, audio, tags, and metadata. If I were just to search for fire with audio, it will now find clips where fire is spoken. And so we can see right here, now it takes us to the word fire.
Not from other predators, but from fire.
So here we hear the word fire, but if I wanted to find a picture of fire, I can click on the tags, and now it'll show me the tags of fire, right? So I have the ability to filter audio, visual, or metadata. If I wanted to search for an animal, which is really cool, of the 3,000 takes here, I could search for a location like a grassland, and now it'll filter those 3,500 takes and find grasslands right there. So it's finding all these takes here, and you can see it's pulling them together, and we can see anytime it decides this is a grassland shot. But then I could add to it something like a bird. And now I want to find birds in the grassland, and it'll give us a new set of assets where we see birds in grassland. And then I could even go further and search for a giraffe in grassland. And now we're looking at giraffe, birds, and grasslands all together. So that's called a compound search, where you combine together all the different elements. Lenny asks, is Strada using proxy media? Is there a minimum quality required for playback in those files? Lenny, great question. Proxy workflows are still very good if you're using the internet in any way. Strada does not require you to make a proxy. That's not a requirement, but it will give you advantages. These are H.265 4K files, so you can still do 4K. But H.265 or HEVC, high efficiency video, that might be a great codec that I use a lot. But Strada is capable of working without proxies, but your workflow might go a little faster if you have proxies. So you could try it both ways, Lenny, and see how it works. So there we demonstrated searching through files using visual tags and stuff like that. And it's pretty incredible what you can find searching that way. So that's really good. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go, have you ever had an interview spoken in a language you don't speak, right? That gets really hard. When you do interviews, sometimes the interview's not in a language you know. And when it's not, you end up getting confused, right? So check this out. This is going to be a little quiet, but I'm going to search for the word painting, and it's going to take me to this section where the speaker talks about painting, but listen to her voice.
开始学习素描，然后学习山水画。
So if you can hear that, Chien here is actually speaking Mandarin, but Strada, I'll make this a little bit bigger, Strada is able to display a caption in English, even though the original language is Mandarin. So here you can see the Mandarin being played back, or I can switch to English and I can see the English translation. So we are doing two different languages here at the same time, and we're able to have both English and Mandarin. And so this allows you to continue editing, searching, reading, and even making transcripts that are in different languages. Normally, when you're doing a shoot and you have an interview in a different language, the workflow really gets hard. But in Strada, it's so easy. You can transcribe and you can translate, and we support 100 languages. So there's a lot of languages here that you can that are supported, so that you have the ability. Maybe you'll see a language that you use, because there's a lot of languages here that you can leverage in Strada. So we get really good feedback from people when they do the transcriptions in other languages. So we encourage you to try it. John asks, you showed separate audio and video assets. Does Strada sync via waveform? Hey, John, you're right on schedule, I think. Yes. So John, this is really cool. We are the only product in the world that can do this. So John, you noticed separate audio and video. Strada is the only product that can sync picture and sound together in the cloud automatically. Check this out. If I look at this media here, I'm going to click on my sync folder. If we look closely when this media loads, you can see there is a picture here, a picture there, and there. That's telling us that there are 3 assets in the clip. So when I click on this clip, we can look at the details. We can see, John, there is an A camera, a B camera, and an audio file. And check this out. The audio file is called 1C take 6, 1 Charlie 6. Look at the slate, 1C6. When you're working on a set and the audio recorder labels the scene and take, Strada will automatically rename the files based on that. 1 Charlie take 6. So check this out. If I go to metadata and I search for to Frank, it's going to search for all the slates. So look at this. Look at all my clips. To Frank take 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, and 4, right? So if I click here, I just found to Frank. And now look at the slate, to Frank. And all that happened automatically. So John, nothing I just showed was manual. The syncing is automatic. We are using time code to sync. So when I grab assets, I have the ability to sync them via time code. So you can see, you can see a time code overlay here, 143025, 143028, 143114. That time code overlay. And then you look at the bottom here, you can see that there's audio, A camera, and B camera. And if you look, they all started at a slightly different time, but Strada aligns them so they're all in sync. So if I hit play on the take, so we'll go to Frank take 4, and I'll hit play here. Oh, let me hit refresh here. We'll do to Frank. There we go. And we'll load this clip up and we'll hit play. Yeah. You can see that both cameras have the same time code, 4516, 4516. If I search for a line of dialogue, we can start seeing the transcription there. So if I were to transcribe the word cheers, cheers isn't spoken in this clip. Okay, I'll try a different clip. Let's see if cheers is in this one. Yeah, so I'll go to there. It'll take me to the point they say cheers. And now check this out, John. We can see it happening on 2 cameras at the same time.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So that is an example of multicam. And I can even turn one camera off and just look at it like that, or look at the other camera. So we can look at A camera or B camera or A and B together. And that's a totally new way of working. So really, really powerful. So very, very exciting that you can do multicam syncing, multicam review. And if you noticed with the interview, This actually was 3 cameras. Strada will show 4 cameras all simultaneously. This was a 3 camera shoot, and you can see all 3 cameras playing back. So very, very cool to be able to do multicam. Okay, Ryan asks, I use LucidLink. Does that work with Strada? Ryan, we actually kind of need your help. LucidLink does not publish an API today that allows third-party companies like Strada to connect to it. LucidLink is a walled garden. It's the same with Blackmagic. LucidLink and Blackmagic do not have third-party APIs that allow other people to connect to their media. We think that is not a good decision because the future of workflow has to be interoperable. So we don't like that we can't connect to Lucid because I'm a Lucid user. You can see right here, here's my Lucid link. I use Lucid as well, but Lucid is not, I'm not able to connect to Strada. So if you want to write tech support at Lucid, I'd love for you to do that, Ryan, and say, please publish a third-party API so I can connect Lucid to Strada, because I love the workflow idea you have, Ryan, because connecting the same media you edit with Strada is really good. But I'll tell you one more, Ryan. Strada is going to have Lucid technology. So we are building a way for you to edit off of a hard drive and use Strada to be the vehicle that makes that possible. So in the future, you may not need LucidLink. You may be able to edit off Strada and share and transcribe and analyze and search and distribute and do dailies and commenting all in Strada. So all of that is stuff we're working on. But I'm still a fan of LucidLink. Today I use it, and so we really want to have this be possible for workflows in the future. So definitely, Ryan, let them know. So check this out. Let's see here if this works. So now I have another thing here, which is, have you ever wanted your media automatically logged for you? Well, because of all the metadata in Strada, check out what we can do in Resolve. We can actually search, and this is gonna be really small, but hopefully some of you can see this. If you look at the keyword here, all of this material was logged by Strada. Strada does the analytics. It puts it in the keyword column so everything can be searched when you get to your editing system. So look at this. If I search for a character, like the character Beck, it'll find all the shots with Beck. There she is. If I said I want Beck by the lake, it'll find shots of Beck by the lake. But if I said I want Beck by the lake backpacking, now I found a shot of Beck by the lake backpacking. All of that logging was done automatically by Strada. We just imported Strada's database. See, if I go to Strada and I want to export to an NLE, I can choose exporting to Final Cut, Resolve, Premiere, or Avid. And I can export the metadata so you can import it to your nonlinear editor so that you can have the search in the editing system. But you can always have the search in a collaborative solution like Strada. And we think search in editing is great, but search with your whole team is even better. David from YouTube, thanks for tuning in, David. David asks, are those captions editable and exportable? Yes and yes. So if I go into this and I go to a transcription, I can double click and I could change. If her name was spelled wrong, it's spelled correctly. But if she says Tianjin, China, if it was Beijing, I could change that, right? So I could change that right there. If that was wrong, I could make an adjustment. And then I can also go and export an SRT. So when I export an SRT, now it's going to create an SRT of the transcription, and we'll be able to open it in just a second. But even better than that, what's really great about our transcription is you can export it in bulk. So if you look here, I can select a bunch of assets and export all the SRTs of those together. So it's going to put all this together and make all of the transcriptions available. So here it's exported all the SRT files in bulk. And now you can see there is the SRT sound rolling, right? So there's the SRT. And so I don't even have to do it all in it one at a time. I can do them in a bulk, which is really, really great, David. David also asks, can you re-import a corrected transcript from a product like rev.com? No, we're really not an import solution for that case. We generate the transcript, you do the editing, and then you export it. We don't import something from Rev. You would take the Rev and you would just go right to YouTube or whatever product you're going to. So that's what you would do there. So very cool though. Okay, so we mentioned that we finished the core platform and the first phase, and a lot of the features I just showed you are part of phase 1. Oh, I got to show you this. This is brand new, everybody. Check this out. This is brand new. I want to show this to you. I could take a transcription here, and we got a transcription here, but I have a button here, and I can actually summarize the transcription. See this summary? I can summarize a transcription. So I can say, talk about the speaker's childhood and life before the United States. And now I've given it a prompt, and Strada will read the transcript and give a summary based on that description. So you can drive more of the story that way, or summarize what happened with her husband. And now it will give me a summary based on what happened with her husband, which is a sad story. So there's all sorts of information here, and you can set this to be long, medium, or short, and it will do different durations. So this is a really powerful way for us to give you summaries. And it's a very powerful way to use this for like YouTube summaries. Everybody hates generating YouTube summaries, but now Strada can actually do that for you, which is really cool. Seth says, what's the status of hybrid/auto manual logging in Strada? So if I go to a clip, the way it works today is it's all automatic. So it's all automatic. If I just right click on a bunch of clips, you see there's a button that says analyze. When I say analyze, I have the option to do face detection, item detection, or text detection. And whatever I do, I turn these on. It will then analyze all these clips, and it will automatically do that. We are working. So, Austin's probably listening. Seth, you asked about manual. We do have a manual tag in alpha. It is not done. It is not super polished, but we do have an alpha version where you could make a manual tag if you wanted to enter something manually. But today, all of our tags are they're automatic, and they allow us to do that. So if you look, I could search by the character Beck, and it would find all the shots of the character Beck. And if I said, I think like Solo, it'll find where she finds her by herself. Or I could find Beck, and I could look for her reading, and it will find when it sees her actually reading, which are different parts of this project. So there she is reading there, right? So it can find things like that. So there's some really cool ways to search using those automatic analytics. Yeah. So what are we doing in 2025? I want to talk a little bit about the future here. And the first thing we're doing right now is we're working on connecting local storage. Right now, you can connect to Frame.io, Dropbox, and Google Drive. And if I switch to Strada, you can see right here in this little tab, I have access to my Dropbox account, my Frame.io account, and Google Drive. Just that makes this product totally unique. I can literally browse through my entire Frame.io account or my entire Dropbox account, and I can go through and look through any of my cloud accounts, and I can access those files and combine them together. If I had audio in Dropbox and video in Frame.io, I can sync those together and play them back at the same time in Strada. That's nuts, but that's because we believe media should be accessible wherever it is. You shouldn't have to consolidate it to one place. But we also know that most of your footage is actually on a hard drive. So we're building right now local storage connect, so you can connect a local drive to Strada, and then you can read off a local drive and share that media to your collaborators, but it's never uploaded to the cloud. and then you can analyze it, transcribe it, edit it, share it, review it. It's going to be awesome. Julia asks, if you move or reorganize files within Google Drive and Dropbox, does Strada relink automatically, or do you have to reload? Austin, could you just verify the answer to that question? I'd love to hear Austin just make sure. I want him to answer this. Is Austin available? Austin's not available, I guess. Okay, so if what I believe the answer is yes, Julia. So maybe Austin could put it in the chat and verify.
We'll get it in the chat, Michael.
You'll put it in the chat. Great. Okay, so we'll put it in the chat. I believe the answer is yes. Strada will always it tries to keep track of where things move around. And so that is something that it should be true. So if that's the case, we'll put it in the chat and then let me know so I can make sure that if this is true for Julia, it's true in the future for everybody. Okay. The next thing we're building is collaborative review. So we're putting in commenting, and our commenting experience is gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's powerful. I think I have a picture of it here. Let's see, maybe here. Yeah, I've got some really cool pictures. Here you can see the commenting experience in design here. And so you have the ability to make your comments. You can select with the checkbox here, is a comment actually finished? We also have the ability to range-based comments. You can select the little range and drag and drop it really easily. You can make comments to multiple people. You can even make comments to groups. So if you make a group comment to like marketing or legal or producers or whatever, you can make comments and it'll go to just those groups. So it's a really, really great commenting experience. It's very simple. It's very elegant. It's very fast. That is a big thing coming very soon. Then we're looking at collaborative editing. We want you to be able to edit remotely off of Strada through your local storage. And we want Strada to help you make that possible so that you can edit and not have to upload to the cloud. So that's what we're working on. We're also working on a mini editor. We just call this a playlist editor or a paper cuts editor. So Strada will allow you to start putting together playlists and paper cuts, or take your favorite parts of a transcript and put it into a timeline. All of that's coming. And so we just have this little simple editor, and then more and more AI automations. You've seen transcription, you've seen translation, you've seen analytics and tagging. We're doing facial rec, but we'll also be adding like audio noise reduction, color correction, all sorts of AI automations to make things even better. If you are on the beta or want to join the beta, we're going to put a link in the chat that you can actually download and install Discord, and you can join our Discord server. That's the best way to communicate with us, and it allows us to have a communication. We can give you support. We can give you updates. We can have workflow feedback. It's the best way to get a hold of us. So in the chat right now, Pete will put the Discord link. You're welcome to join. We'd love to have you there. Now, what does Strada not do today? Well, there's two major things it doesn't do. We don't do stills or documents. I desperately want to put all of this work we've done and apply it to photos, but we can't do that just yet. So that's coming in the future, but there's no stills, no documents. Manual tagging, I showed you, is like in alpha. It's not that robust. So if you want manual tagging, let us know so that we can know you need it and want it. And that would be great, because the more people that want that, the more we can prioritize it. And then progress bar. Well, we kind of have half a progress bar. If you look up at the top, there's this little circular icon. If I click on that, that shows us our progress. And so this will show us how many jobs we have running. The reason it's only half done is if you want to see an update, you have to manually refresh the browser. This progress bar will not update on its own. So that's an important thing you have to do. You have to manually update it. But we know you need that stuff. So we're building it now. Okay. I am going to do a very quick, fast demo of Strada from scratch. And if you want access to this media, Pete is going to put a link in the chat. You're obviously welcome to use your own media, but sometimes you want to see a demo from scratch and you might want to follow along. We can make this recording available in our YouTube live channel, so you can see this recording tomorrow if you want, and you could follow along. And then we do have a support tool. If you look right here in the upper right again, there is a little question mark. If I click the question mark, it's going to open up
Strada is
a
a
little tool here. And these are all tutorials that will show you, if you forget, how do you analyze? How do you search? How do I, let's see here. How do I export to Adobe Premiere Pro? If I click on that, it'll take me through all the steps to do that and show me how to import it and get it to work. So everything here is a fast, quick tutorial. Again, you can access that in the upper right with the question mark, or you can go to strada.tech, our homepage website, click support, and all of those are also available here as videos. So we want you to have support. Okay, I am going to show you from scratch how to actually bring in clips, analyze, and transcribe them. And I'm doing all this from scratch, and I want to show you how fast this is. When I click on my name in the upper left, it brings me to my projects panel workspace. So I can have all my projects here. Now, this is something really cool about Strada. You can switch between different workspaces, which means you could have all your clients as different workspaces or all your films as different workspaces. So check this out. In the upper left, these are all different workspaces, and I could switch to Rattled, and now it's an entire project just for the film Rattled. And you can see I have case study, trailer, behind the scenes, my composer project, dailies, visual effects, my rough cuts, right? So I can break it down all by the type of project through a workspace, or I can start in my workspace and make every single project different. You have the option to do that. Each workspace is $20 a month. $20 a month gets you a whole workspace, and it includes 20 hours of analytics, transcription, translation, or analytics, analyze, tagging. So you can do that. You get 20 hours for 20 bucks per workspace every single month. It's really, really affordable. So I'm going to make a new project here, and I'm going to call this February 11th. And when I turn on that project, this is totally blank. I'm going to make 3 bins, Harlow, and then I'm going to make Rattled, and I'm going to make transcription. And so I just made 3 bins right there. You can see these bins right here. I could rename them if I needed to, but watch this. I'm going to go into my ad source media browser. This is where I'm accessing my clouds. I'm going to go to beta demos. I'll go to sample material, and we'll see a folder for today, which is 2.4. No, 2.11. Do I have 2? Did I do that? I don't think I did that. Here I did. Where did I put it? I can't remember where I put this footage. Where did I? 2.11. There it is. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So I'm going to go to Harlow. So now I have to load the files from my cloud into Strada, but Strada doesn't really move the files. I just drag those in there. They'll show up. I'll go to Rattled here, and I'll grab the Rattled files and I'll put them in there. And then I'll navigate to the transcription stuff and I'll put them in there. And so now I can close this. So now I've loaded files in. One cool pro tip is if you want, you can right click a folder and say add to bin, and it'll ask you which bin to put it in. So you can just do this all at once, and you don't have to grab all the files. You could just add a folder directly into a bin. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click all the audio. Whoops, overloaded my web browser there. Let me just refresh. I'm going to right click my audio, and I'm going to hit, oh, that's funny. So I got a little bug here, Austin. That's new. I can't do bulk transcriptions. So let me just try. I'll refresh again. Maybe I'll have to log out here. Let's try. Let me just try kicking off 1. 1's working. Great. Now let me try 2. Yep. If I do 2, it doesn't work. But if I do 1, it works. So maybe we got to look at something. Something could have happened. We pushed a new version last night. So we'll see if that's unrelated or related, but you should be able to do everything in bulk. So
we're looking into it, Michael.
Okay, thanks. So, and then we'll kick this off. So we should see transcriptions kicking off here from this. So normally you can click these in bulk and do a transcription. But what we talked about earlier today, and I can't remember who it was that asked it, but how do you actually sync the picture and sound? So if you look, let me set this transcription to go, and then this transcription to go. Great. So normally I can do this once and it'll just work for all the assets. But today it's not doing that. But if you look here, we've got an audio file, we've got a video file, and a B camera. So we have A camera, B camera, and sound. And what I can do is just select them all. And I'm going to select sync by time code. And when I sync by time code, this will only take a couple of seconds. And then it's going to automatically analyze the files and sync them together and give us audio and video sync automatically. So there it is. So now it's done. And I should be able to click on my take here. And we can see the transcriptions going on this clip, but we can already play back picture and sound for this asset. So that quickly we're able to do sync sound, multicam, picture and sound, and load these files in. So it's really, really cool that you can do multicam this way. This is the only product in the world that can sync separate picture and sound in the cloud automatically. So it's really, really powerful. And then you can watch dailies a whole new way. And you can see the transcriptions going on right now. If I wanted to change the language, if I go to the transcription here, we know that Austin, the transcription panel's really having trouble popping up. So just so you know, normally I get the transcription panel and I can choose the language that I want. So this happens to be Chinese, and I can run this transcription in Chinese, but I can choose to translate it to English. So you see it says English right here because it's doing a translation from Mandarin to English. And I've kicked that off manually here. Ling asks, once the transcriptions are done, will it be accessible to the whole team that's on the same Strada account? Oh, or will each user have to regenerate? Ling, it's all team-based. So I'm sorry I didn't go over that. But if I click in my project settings and go to my workspace, you see there's this picture of people. Once I go to people, I can manage members. All of these people can be invited into your project. So I've got, a dozen people here, and I can set permissions for what those people are able to do. And they now all have access to the dailies, to the transcriptions, to the analytics, to search and sharing. They'll be able to comment. They'll be able to do anything Strada can do. You only have to do it once. And once you do it, it's done. So it's really, really powerful to be able to do that. So very, very easy workflow in that case. So I definitely think it's really designed to be for people. So here, if I search for the word countryside, there we go. So now I'm going to hit play, and let me make this a little larger and listen.
I lived upstate, the countryside.
So hopefully you heard Shayna here said, I lived upstate, the countryside. And what that means is we were able to bring in files. We were able to sync them automatically by time code. Strada automatically renamed them scene and take, 2 Frank take 4. Let's look at the beginning. 2 Frank take 4. So we've got that. If I wanted to, search for 2 Frank, I can find, there it is. It's already filtering down to the clips that are 2 Frank, right? And then I searched for a word in the script, and it found it because we ran a transcription, right? So we did the transcription, the syncing, the searching, the naming, and everything was automatic. The only thing that didn't work is I couldn't do it in bulk, which I'm sure we'll figure out what's wrong. It'll be fixed in an hour. So don't worry about that. But that's the type of stuff that happens when you're building new tech. So that's really, really cool about all the stuff we're able to do. So that was hopefully an example of a really rapid way to bring in files from Frame.io, sync, stack, name, and search, which is, you can imagine how fast this can be. So that is the demo that I wanted to go over. So how much does Strada cost? Well, basically, we want this to be very, very affordable for teams all over the world. So Strada costs $20 per month. That's the main plan, $20 per month. That plan has unlimited users. We do not charge for users. We don't think you should charge for users. We have a different pricing model. You bring as many people in as you want. And I don't like when products require you to like guess how many users you need, and then you have to buy those users. And then when you go over, you get charged more, or people have to share email logins to save money on users. We don't do that. It's unlimited users. It's unlimited projects. And each workspace is $20 a month. And that $20 includes 20 hours of logging. So you can analyze, transcribe, and translate 20 hours a month. And every month you get 20 new hours. If you want to do a lot more, for $60 a month, you get 72 hours of analytics, transcriptions, translations, analyzing, tagging. You get 72 hours per month, all included per workspace. And again, unlimited users, unlimited projects. And you get that. If you need more for some reason, it's $1 per hour. So if you have a $20 a month plan and you have 30 hours of footage that you want to transcribe, you would just pay $10 because you already have 20 automatically each month, and you could just pay $10 and you would get 10 more hours. I'm telling you, Strada is the most cost-effective, highest quality transcription tool, and it's collaborative. And that's amazing. It's inexpensive, it's high quality, and it's collaborative. Like, this is really, really great. And that transcription summary is really handy. You got to check out the transcription summary. Josh says, do all collaborators have access to all projects within a workspace? Yes, Josh, the entire workspace, the collaborators have access to all that. If you want to have someone only available in one project, we are building a function now called guest, and you can add a guest and they only have access to one project, but your members have access to all of the projects on the workspace. And then you can invite people to other workspaces, and then you can jump across those workspaces. So that's how you have all the layers. Moritz asks, what happens if you have ProRes content? Does Strada still work? Moritz, the soft answer is yes. Strada will support ProRes, but sometimes there are some products that do not support ProRes, like Dropbox doesn't support ProRes on the external API. But Strada very soon we are changing our player, and we will be able to support ProRes on the Mac. ProRes on Windows maybe won't work, but ProRes on the Mac will work. And so there are things we're doing to make ProRes work everywhere. But ProRes works today in a lot of places, but not everywhere. And we're building improvements to our player to support ProRes in more places. Yes. Okay, well, we made it to the end of the hour. Pretty awesome. Again, I want to give a big shout out one last time to Marcus Furterer and Tim Fellbaum, who made this amazing movie, September 5th. If you like, look, it's a workflow movie. I know it's not advertised as a workflow movie, but if you make movies and you like workflow, you're going to see some really awesome things in this film, because you're going to see them invent a workflow on screen to tell this amazing story of this true story from the 1972 Munich Olympics. It's amazing. You can also celebrate Marcus's amazing cinematography. He takes a red 8K Raptor camera and turns it into where's a good picture of Marcus? We should end on a good shot of Marcus. It takes a red 8K large format camera, and he turns it into where is my Marcus shot? I don't know how I got confused here. He turns it into it looks like a 16 millimeter camera. So it's really, really awesome to see those results. So I really, really am excited about this film. And I think you guys will have a good time checking it out as well. So so check out September 5th, but also check out Strada. Strada is really here to be the file system at the center of your production. And we're just getting started. We launched our public beta in December. It's only been about 6 weeks, and we love all the users trying it out and helping us make it better. So I want to encourage everybody to sign up for Strada. It's free. There's a free 2-week trial. Check it out. Start learning how to work in this new way, and stay tuned for some amazing feature upgrades that we have planned throughout 2025. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.